So this is Boomer's first time playing. So if he gets too rough, I'm just going to step outside and be like, hey. So they don't know I'm here watching. Sounds ferocious when he plays. Hey! So that was good. So you got play. What I didn't like was her intensity, Boomer's intensity, started going up higher, right? So I'll let him play. And then when I get to this certain level of intensity, I'll break that up. Hey! And so what happens is, if that happens several times, then the beautiful thing is they start to play at that level or below. But because he was reactive last week, I don't want that reactivity to kind of come back with excitement and play. So like if two little brothers are playing and then one gets serious, that's what I don't want to happen here. But at the same time, you know, Boomer had some pretty cool moves. Huh, Boomer? Alright, so I'm going to do the exact same thing and let them play again. And this is all about repetition, right? The repetition is I want you to go to a certain level, but not beyond that. And when they go beyond that, that's when I come out and break it up. But also understand that I've had this young lady for 5 days now. So there has been no play. I haven't allowed very much sniffing, very much anything. So because of that period of time when I had control, when they do play and I come out, it makes sense to her to listen to me because I built that, hey, I built that control. Because if I would have just let them play right away, then she wouldn't be respecting me as leader. So there has to be this kind of period of time where you could actually be able to influence a mind, and you start to know that you're doing a good job of that because they'll start to follow you around and not care about the other dogs. When she first met me at the apartment, she was caring about the other dogs and she didn't care anything about me. So there has to be a period of time where you sit there and you start to be able to lead her and guide her, and she starts to feel comfortable, and there's a lot of different things that are going on. And then once that occurs, I don't mind play, right? I'm not anti-play, but I am anti-dominant play. I am anti-fearful play. I am anti not paying attention to me play. So they could play, but they have to earn it. I'll give them affection, but they have to earn it. They could eat, but they have to earn it. And how do they earn it? They earn it by being calm. I'm not going to feed an excited dog. I'm not going to give affection to a nervous dog. So I'm going to go back inside and they should start playing here in a second. But see, if I stay here, see, she's all eyes on me, so there won't be any kind of play. So let's do it again. Okay, so they're both looking at me, or for me. So once I don't show up, they'll start to pay attention to each other. And this is great for separation anxiety too, because if you can start to leave, but be able to watch them somehow, some way, through a window, through a door, whatever, and they don't know that you're watching them, and they start to whine or become anxious, pacing back and forth, saliva, any kind of barking, anything like that. What happens? Did you see me? No. What happens is if they start to do any of those kinds of things that lead into this high intensity anxiety, you can kind of come in like Superman or Superwoman and break off that intensity, and then you leave again. So they're looking. You gotta get Boomer on the treadmill. So see Red Bull's over there trying to get him to play. See it? I'm going to give it like another minute, because if it doesn't happen now, then it might not happen for a while. So. Yeah, Boomer's too focused on trying to find me that she's not going to play with Red Bull. Yeah. Boomer! So that's just a cool little way you can kind of try them in different situations that they may be having trouble in. Is to sneak up on them, look through a window, have a window there. That's awkward because there's a bed on the other side of that, so it's hard to look through that window. But I also have the laundry room right there I could look through. But yeah, if you put them in situations that previously they had issues with, and then you allow them a little bit of leeway. So now here's that pacing that we saw when she first got here. She's just walking around in big circles. Hey! Hey! Shh. Hey! Hey! So I want to stop that mind frame from circling. B, get away from me, dude. Go make some honey. Oh, yeah. It's like the... Was it the not the National Enquirer, National Geographic back here with all the flies, and there's a wasp nest I was trying to deal with and got distracted. Squirrels and cats and homeless people's dogs. There's all kinds of stuff around here. So, anyway, couple of happy dogs. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Oh my goodness. This bee's in love with me. Now I know how hot chicks feel when I try to approach them. It's like, get away from me. Ah. I'm about to squirt the bee with the hose, and maybe that's what, what the chick should do. Just have a portable hose they can squirt me with. Hey, Red Bull. Alright guys, so got a little bit of play with Boomer, so that's a good day. And again, it doesn't have to be 3 hours of play, but I did want to do a little bit for the video so that way the owners can see. I do want to break it down because it wasn't exactly the perfect play. It wasn't totally polite. There was a little bit of intensity. There's a little bit of dominance. There's a little bit of noise, which I don't mind the noise so much as long as that's just how she plays. But if she starts off with no noise, and then she starts growling and, you know, chasing and barking and all that stuff, but she started off with no noise, that's telling me that she's intensifying. Her excitement is raising. So at some point, I don't want her to go past being too excited or being too dominant or being too, like, you know, getting into the spirit of a wild dog where they're actually, you know, pursuing prey, you know. So at some point I need to step in whenever I don't feel comfortable anymore. And that's what I did, no big deal. And then when I stepped in and said, hey, if you remember, she just is like, oh, okay, no, we're cool, you know. And then she didn't want to play after that, so that's why I kind of wanted to have her go back to say, hey, the play is not the problem, it's how you play. And the only way they're going to get that message is if we kind of go over the play over and over and over and hey, come on, over and over and over and over. And then some play is disciplined and some play is not. Then she's going to realize that, you know, hey, when I'm just chilling, having a good time, he's cool. But then when I start to, you know, get a little bit intense, he starts, you know, distracting me. So that's all we're talking about here. Just a couple little distractions here and there, just to control what we're permitting them to do. And then once they listen to us, once they pay attention to us, our distractions are over. Discipline. Discipline scares a lot of people, that word. Discipline for me is two things. I just need the dog to pay attention to me, and I need them to start to calm down. Of course, they're not going to go directly to calm. But if they're, for instance, looking at a cat over there or something, and it's staring at the cat, staring at the cat, staring at the cat, and then I say, you know, hey, or stop, hey, or whatever I say, and then they look at me. Well, if they're not continuing to look at the cat, then they're not going to keep intensifying. So if they're looking at me, I'm breaking that cycle. So that's what I'm looking for. So if that's what I'm looking for, then my discipline has to stop. I'm not going to say hey anymore. I'm not going to give them hard eye contact. I'm not going to do anything. And then once I feel that they're a little bit more calm, then I'll go ahead and back off of the dog. If it's right here looking at the cat, now the dog's looking at me. So I'm going to back off a little bit. Now if the dog turns back to look at the cat, hey. Now I'm going to go after that, the invisible dog here. I'm going to go after that dog's attention because, again, I don't want the dog to look at that cat in a certain way. Now, if he's just looking at the fridge and looking at the stairs and looking at the plant and sniffing the chair and then looking at the cat and then getting a drink of water, then sniffing the chair, then sniffing Red Bull, then looking at the cat, cool. Because he's not focusing. But if he's looking around and he sees a cat and he just focuses, kind of like that, hey, go. So that was probably a bee or a wasp or something. But that's the same kind of thing. I don't care if it's a bee, a wasp, a horrible Civic with a annoying exhaust, or a mailman, or a UPS truck, or a bicycle, or a grocery cart. It doesn't matter what the distraction is. It matters how he's focused on that distraction. And it matters how we're able to bust through that intensity to be able to get him to look at us and not that distraction. So that way, as soon as that happens, come on, bud, come on. Now I can have her in a cool state of mind where she's more following me rather than looking at the bee or the wasp or whatever, you know. But if I allow that, then she could be like running all over and trying to jump up on the bar and trying to jump up on the chairs and trying to get, oh my God, I gotta get to me, because that's going to intensify to that level if I don't stop it. And then if I keep her at a low level of different distractions, then it's easier to fix her whenever she does decide to, you know, pay attention to something in the wrong way. And then that turns into a habit to where she doesn't ever really do it. She'll do it once in a while. Tallulah, my personal dog, you know, she's a nervous base. So if something, fireworks or, you know, a loud truck or something like that, comes around, she'll look at that. So I still have to get her attention like that. But once I become more, oh yeah, just like snapping her out, bam, 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 you know, and then when she snaps out of that, she's like, oh yeah, right. And then we're cool, you know. But it's so easy to be able to fix something like that if you work on it in a situation that's controlled. You know, don't work on this stuff at the dog park. Don't work on this stuff outside the house. Don't work on this stuff at the bus station or in a high distraction environment. Work on this stuff where you have control, so that way you can have success, and then you can upgrade the challenges, and then you'll be changing how they feel towards you, but you'll also be really becoming effective with your technique of how to control that intensity and that excitement to get that dog into a calm state. See that stance? Hey! Let's go. So see, discipline, then she paid attention to me, now we're buddies. The key to that is never get emotional. Don't get mad, angry, frustrated. Just control it. Look at that. She passed right by him when she's in submissive position. So anyway, folks, I'm running out of time. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up if you liked it.